Hey, everybody. Welcome to Creators and Coffee with Autofluencer. I am Megan, and today we have got my good friend, John, on with us. John, I've known you for, what, 6, 7, 8 years now, something like that.
Yeah,
And
so
you've been our videographer and photographer and editor for pretty much ever since I've known you, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
right.
awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today. So, let's get started with how you got started because you don't have a like motorsports background, right? Like you don't come from a family that races like what most, racers do. So how did you get involved in the motorsports side and what got you involved in media in the first place too?
I have to mainly thank my dad for that because he was always been a motorsports fan. So I was a fan and a spectator kind of growing up, but never really went the path of filming it. I was always I'd say more in the teenage years, I would take my camera to events, but it was mainly just for my own personal photos or videos here and there. Never posted on social media. It was, I want to say, yeah, it was 2019. I was living in Oceanside, ended up moving back home, was doing a full-time job as a motion graphics artist at this small studio out here in California. Kind of was looking to take up a little extra time on the weekend. So I always like shooting stuff with my camera. Let's just see if I can start shooting some local events here and there. So kind of found some small events around me and started applying to those and got in and just met some cool people. It was kind of more of a side hobby at that point, but as I did it more and I just started to meet new people and doors started opening, it kind of started growing to the point where I had my full-time job still, and then there was a pretty good busyness with the photo video side of it, and it got to the point where it got so busy I had to pick between one or the other, which
Yeah.
was a scary situation when you consider you have a full-time job that paid me all through COVID. I was able to work through COVID with this full-time job, and now I'm quitting for something that's pretty unpredictable, but at the end of the day, I made the right decision because I'm so glad that I did dive into this head on. So it was 2022 is when I quit my job, went into this full time, and I haven't looked back since. So it's been awesome.
Through your eyes, how has content creation and media evolved?
I want to say, at least from the video side, looking as a creator going into it, it's definitely evolved in the sense that you don't really need, I shouldn't say you don't really need, you do need a good camera, but it's just not as necessary for a lot of content creation, at least in terms of just creating the content. Like you can use GoPros and small action cameras, your cell phone, a lot of things in combination with your camera. And that's kind of what I think has changed a lot. Because initially I kind of thought going into it, oh, you need a really nice camera, you need really good gear. That's going to get you noticed by teams. But at the end of the day, now I don't think that really matters as much anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I know, and like the iPhones have gotten so good at video. I know there's a few times I'll even tell you like I just need an iPhone video. Like I don't need like production because yeah, sometimes like just the iPhone like a single clip does better sometimes. And I think because especially now with like AI posts all the time, like if it's something that looks more like authentic and like spur of the moment, hasn't been, edited, that does better sometimes because people are like, okay, I know that's real. Like that's not a fake video. In motorsports, I don't know if there's ever really been much AI stuff is like as far as the on video side, I guess, like I see it with people making their graphics or like announcements and or their race schedules. That's really like where I see it the most being used, but I don't really know. I've never even tried it. So
It's,
maybe
yeah,
it is.
I've heard complaints
It.
from other photographers and just people as they see those AI generated posters and they're like, oh my gosh, so like just have someone else design. But I see that when you see all the AI posters, there's definitely a need for designers and stuff to make these posters and these tracks, and organizations don't know who to reach out to. So that could be a good way to reach out to them and say, hey, instead of designing this, let me design something for you. I think your audience is going to like this instead.
Yeah, because sometimes you can tell that, yeah, that was made by AI. Because it's always got like kind of the same like coloring or like editing style to it. So you can always kind of know like, okay, yeah, that was like written up by AI. I want to move into data because like with Autofluencer, we're always tracking the data. That's something that I've always looked at to know like, okay, this type of content has done well, so we need to do more of this, or this one, like not so much. So maybe like it just didn't resonate with our audience. So do you ever look at data and does that play a role for you and your clients?
It's almost 50-50 at this point because I know when I work with you, you're looking at a lot of the data. I don't see all the same data as you, but I do go and check all the videos that you guys post. I always go to check because I can see the view counts and likes and stuff. So
Yeah.
if I'm making stuff for you and you say it's doing well, I always like to go check and go, okay, cool, that did well there. That's doing well there. So with yours, I'm checking for Champ Off Road. I run Adrian Cheney's Instagram page and it's kind of funny. He's not checking the numbers as much, but for me working with him and posting, I'm always checking the numbers and trying to see like what's doing good. Are there times that work better for his audience and what he wants? And I've had to kind of curate the content to make sense for what he wants and his audience likes. But yeah, I'd say it definitely plays a big role because you can sell a really good video at the end of the day. There's a lot of really talented videographers out there now. A really nice video is good, but the numbers and the return is what is more important, at least if you want to go beyond those teams that just want a cool video. If you want to go to those bigger teams, they want numbers and results.
Do you notice is there anything across the board because you're like in drag racing and in off-road and you do like some dirt bike stuff and like you're kind of in all different parts of motorsports. So is there any similar type of content that does really well just like across the board, or is there like any certain story that you can tell that you can like see from the data or the insights that you're looking at?
The authenticity across all motorsports, like just to just be your authentic self, is when it comes to posting like that does really well. I mean, I actually had a conversation recently with a friend of mine that I met through Champ Off Road. He is in Formula Drift and they have a whole agency and they work with drivers. So he's more on the agency side of things. He also will get behind the camera too, but they're really big on data and numbers. And he was telling me that he'd been telling this driver for a while. So they've been struggling. This driver was struggling with their season. And he was telling them, hey, like, just post what your struggles are. Like, don't hide it. And the driver was like, nah, I don't really want to. And the driver finally listened to his advice and posted it. And this stuff like blew up really big. And the driver contacted him and said, yeah, you were right. I should have done that. And he's like, I told you, people just want to see good or bad what is happening. And to me, I feel like that's across the board in all motorsports. Like, post your failures as a driver, and stuff. And I mean, it can even work for content creation too. If you're a videographer and you have mistakes or things you learn, posting the failures too will do really well. I feel like that is synonymous across any motorsports platform in general.
That's so true. And it's funny, I actually had a conversation this morning with a marketing manager and they were saying, so their sponsorship applications just open up in a couple months for the 2027 season. And she was saying that the person that reviews the applications, they're not in contact with the racers or they don't follow it that much. So they kind of have like a fresh set of eyes, kind of like almost a third party opinion. So there's not like any favoritism there. And the first thing they do is after they look at someone's application is go to their social media. And yeah, if they haven't posted frequently, kind of the same thing where it's just like maybe like a race car photo or something like that, or just like not consistent at all because yeah, maybe they have had some bad results or something. And just like, I know a lot of people just like won't post if they did bad. And like, I totally get that. But yeah, they just want to see someone that is consistent and posting frequently, as long as it's still aligned with the brand values and, not something that's like very personal or, very negative or anything like that. Like it's still like has good value, but they're looking at more of like how frequent does this person post? It's hard to kind of maintain a schedule, but even like just once a week is like, that's a good start. I try to do every single day and I'm on you a lot because I would say like majority of our content on the Rainy My Racing page is all your stuff. So I don't know what we would do if we didn't have you there to get the media for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do see it a lot. It's pretty cool. It goes to with I always will tell clients too, I shoot very heavy when it comes to things. I feel like heavier than most people. And like, yeah, that you end up with a lot of footage, but weeding through and getting rid of what you don't need, but having all that extra footage really has benefited me in all the times I've shot, especially with you guys too.
Yeah, well, especially like in the off season, because, there's only so much stuff we can do, but there's some stuff that like Randy doesn't want to share, or there's stuff where like I'm just not physically there to be able to get some content for us. So yeah, I'm always leaning on you of like, Okay, like send me this GoPro video or something that you filmed maybe like 6 months ago, but we're
Mhm.
able to post it or even like reposting some stuff you did. Like by looking at the data, I've been able to find like, okay, there's like a trend here. Like we'll do this certain type of video or it's got like just this certain text on it. And like that one always does well, or like the certain audio. So then like we'll just keep reusing it, but like throw different clips at it. That's been cool just to, yeah, take advantage of
Yeah.
everything that you film for us. So, kind of speaking about that, are you trying to go into any new adventures or any new skills that you're exploring, whether that's inside or outside of motorsports?
I have been looking at a few other possible desert races here and there, but with desert racing for me working by myself, you need to work with other creators in there. Luckily, I came from desert racing before I went into more of off-road and short course and drag racing, so I still have connections there to meet with people and do that. But I'm definitely wanted to look at a little bit more moto stuff. And outside of motorsports, I've been trying to work with companies that may be involved around motorsports or even just companies in general. Like one of the drivers, they have a general contracting company, and I've done some of their company videos for their websites and landing pages. There's another company that's not far from me. They make parts for boats, and we have a scheduled shoot in July to go to their, factory and film at the place. So not even motorsports related at all, very different.
Yeah.
But I like shooting that stuff. I'd say it's a little easier than motorsports because you're not gone for a whole weekend. You just go there for one day. So I've been
Yeah, that's
looking
true.
to kind of include more of that, but still stay in motorsports because I have some plans looking forward to really focus more on. I love capturing cool stuff, but I'm trying to see what other people aren't doing and looking at like how you always look at the numbers and things like that. I want to make that more centric to what I offer to teams versus just a really cool video.
Do you see yourself doing the same thing the next 5 years, or do you kind of think you'll expand your role a little bit?
I feel like I will still be doing the same thing because I love short course so much. It'd be like really hard to leave that, even
Yeah.
though it's arguably, to me, I think it's tougher to make more money, at least as a videographer in short course. I mean, there's top level guys that are doing it, but it's a little bit tougher than like, let's say, drag racing, at least depending on where you get in drag racing, like the bigger teams, if you're running their socials and stuff or making stuff for their social media, I feel like they'd have more money to throw around as a bigger team, but I'll probably still be in short course, the same stuff. I think ideally in 5 years, I'm looking to expand a little more, possibly have an editor and a second filmer that I can use to the editing side. And it's not even real complex editing. Like a lot of the service I provide to a lot of teams is getting them clips because there's a lot of people that look at their own stats and they know what they want, but they just need clips of stuff. So when I give clips to teams, I'll prep them. They're all set up in verticals. So a lot of times that prep work for a lot of different teams, especially in Champ Off-Road, just is very tedious. So looking down the road to possibly have an editor and a second filmer, that way I could expand even more. That's something I could see in 5 years down the road for sure.
Yeah, I know how tedious it is, like just me doing our socials of just the content that like I'm able to film. And yeah, like I will like outsource to you quite a bit sometimes of like, I just don't have time to edit. Like, here's all the clips, like just just make me a video.
Yeah, I remember that. I've done like, what was it? We did some YouTube videos. I remember some
Yeah.
vlogs. We were just like, here's all the footage. Can you please throw this together? And I was like, yeah, I
Yeah.
can.
You'll definitely need to, yeah, expand your team, which is awesome. So if someone is watching this and they want to become a photographer or a videographer or even just an editor in the motorsports media world, how should they get started?
At least I've heard people say this too. It's a lot of it is, I wouldn't say luck because there's lucky moments where you meet people, but to me, that's all done through preparation and the time you put into building up to where you are. When that lucky moment hits, you're prepared for
Awesome.
it. So, because if
Yeah.
you're not prepared, the lucky moment will hit and you'll fumble it and then nothing will happen. So, to get into it, especially if you're starting out very fresh and new, look for local events that are going on around you that aren't as high profile to get into. Like for me being out in California, there's a lot of pro-am drift competitions and pro amateur just drift days where you can just go out to a track for 15, $20 and shoot all day. Now, granted, you're not going to find any high paying clients there, but it's a good way to at least practice your skills and hone your craft. And a lot of those drivers are open to do stuff. So if you have ideas that you want to try, like social media ideas, whether it's like driver interviews, most of these guys are totally happy to do it and just get the content from it. And then you can experiment and learn. And through growing that way, then you can build somewhat of a portfolio or a page, and you can apply to bigger events and say, hey, I'm an independent, filmer. This is my portfolio. This is what I've done. And it has a more professional presentation to get into larger scale operations, or even reaching out to teams and saying, hey, this is what I've done so far. Are you looking for someone to work with? So that's more of like a cold call approach doing it, but it worked for me, and I feel like it's a good avenue to get into. I'd say another one that I didn't try, but I'd recommend doing is most of the top level media that I've met, the guys I consider better than me, have been very helpful, nice people. I mean, there's always some bad eggs and everything, but if aspiring videographer or photographer reaches out to someone and just wants some advice or pointing of where to go, most of them are pretty willing to help. I haven't seen too much gatekeeping. There's always gatekeeping when it comes to things, but a lot of them have been really helpful. Like I remember starting out, I didn't know about pricing video stuff, and I reached out to this guy that was a pretty big guy in social media, at least like his numbers were. And I asked him, I said, hey, how do you price stuff? Like I'm struggling trying to figure it out. And he was more than happy to throw me some numbers and help me with it, which I thought was so cool because he didn't have to. Like I was really nobody at that point. He was like, yeah, if you have any other questions, just feel free to reach out anytime. And it was so nice. And I feel like most of the professionals that I've met are like that way. I'm even like that too. I'm always willing to help other people with advice or questions or help, point in different directions. So that's another avenue too. If you don't want to just rely on trying to get in by contacting every team, you can reach out to other industry professionals. Sometimes they're looking for help, and other times they'll give you some really good advice.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and just like how you maybe are looking for some help, or maybe like a second shooter.
Yes. Yeah, I can definitely see that down the road for sure, because it's like grunt work now, but I can see it growing to something bigger. But yeah, a lot of it's like, just more grunt work stuff I need help with. But yeah.
Exactly. Well, where can people go to find you to see your work or connect with you online?
I'm mainly on Instagram a lot right now, JW Power Media. And it's actually JW_Power_Media, but it'll show up if you type in JW Power Media. I've been posting more on Facebook under the same name because I remember watching one of your videos, Megan, and I got monetized on Facebook. And I had a couple videos actually do really good through Champ Off Road, like a handful of them in a row all blew up and did like decent numbers for my page. I only had 1,000 followers, but the videos, were going past 200,000 views. So
nice.
That's a platform I've been using a lot, thanks to the advice you gave. So those are the two places to find me on there and reach out, and I'll usually respond to that stuff very quickly.
Thank you for joining me for Creators in Coffee, and we'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.